Hello students, how are you all? I just hope that you all are safe at your places and you all must be studying at home. Now students, be regular with your studies and be regular with your assignments also, okay? Now today we are going to start a new chapter, chapter number 2, Kingdom Classification, okay? And here in this chapter you are going to learn about 2 kingdom classification and 5 kingdom classification, who introduced them and why they were introduced, okay? But before that, let me tell you something about living organisms. Now our planet Earth, there are different living organisms. They live on the planet Earth. Now 15 lakh different species, they live on Earth, okay? 15 lakh different species of living organisms live on Earth. Now 15 lakh, out of 15 lakh different species, 12 lakh species are of animals and 3 lakh species are of plants, okay? And there are too many organisms are there, living organisms are there, and it is very difficult for us to study about them, okay, individually. Now students, why classification it is needed? It is needed because if a person wants to know information about a particular type of living organism, then it would be difficult for him to get information out of lakhs of different species of living organisms, okay? But if these living organisms, they are arranged systematically according to their similarities and dissimilarities in different types of groups, then it would be easier for a person to get information about the particular type of living organism, okay? For instance, if I want biology book of class 7 and if I enter the library, there are many books are there in the library, thousands and lakhs of books are there in the library. And if I want biology book in the library, then it would be difficult for me to get the book out of lakhs of books. But thank God, in the library, books, they are arranged systematically, okay? They are arranged according to the subjects, according to the authors. They also arranged alphabetically, okay? So it becomes easier for a person to get his or her book out of many books, okay? Same way, classification, it is required to get information about a particular type of living organism, because living organisms, they are classified into groups or categories according to the similarities or dissimilarities, okay? So classification, what is the definition of classification? Classification is the grouping together of living things on the basis of similarities and their separation on the basis of differences is called classification, okay? Now classification, what it includes, it also includes identification and naming, okay? Now what are the advantages of classification? Advantages of classification are, just now I told you that classification helps to make the study simpler and easier, and it helps in easy identification of different living organisms. Then it helps to place living organisms into different groups, and we can easily know the relationship between living organisms, okay? Now comes the term species. Now what is the species? Species, it is the lowest category in the classification, okay? And it is a basic unit of classification also. And member of the species, member or animals of the species, they have the same characteristics, okay? They resemble each other. For example, member of the group cat or member of the species cat, they resemble each other structurally and functionally, okay? Now students, let us study about 2 kingdom classification and 5 kingdom classification, okay? Now let us study about two kingdom classification first. Linnaeus in 1758 he proposed two kingdom classification. Okay, and he divided living organisms into two kingdoms. What are they? Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Animalia. Now, as you know, plants and animals, they are different from each other. They have got different features. Like plants, they do not move. Okay, plants, they prepare their own food with the help of sunlight. Okay, and they possess cell wall. They have chloroplast. Okay, also. Okay, now animals on the other hand, they can move, and they depend on plants for their food or other animals for their food, and they do not possess cell wall and they do not have chloroplast. And also plants, they do not have definite growth, but animals, they have definite growth. Okay, now plants, they were grouped together here in the kingdom Plantae, and animals, they were grouped together here in the kingdom Animalia. But there were some organisms were there in the during the classification. That showed both the features of plants and animals. For example, Euglena. For example, fungi and bacteria. Okay. So there were many objections were there for the two kingdom classification. Okay. Then later on, Whittaker in 1969 he proposed 5 kingdom classification. Okay, so Whittaker in 1969 he proposed 5 kingdom classification, and he divided living organisms into 5 kingdoms. Okay, what were they? Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Plantae, and Kingdom Animalia. Okay, we are going to study about all these kingdoms one by one. Okay, now students, let us study about the characteristics of Kingdom Monera. Okay, now the characteristics of Kingdom Monera are, the first characteristic is that this kingdom, it includes bacteria, blue-green algae also known as cyanobacteria, and mycoplasma. Okay, now these are prokaryotic. Now what does this mean? Prokaryotic. Prokaryotic means that they do not have well-defined nucleus. Now nucleus, what is nucleus? It is the organelle. Just like organs in our body, just like heart, kidneys, lungs, all these are organs of our body. The same way cell, they have organelles. Okay, and these organelles, they have specific function. So nucleus, which is also known as brain of the cell, and it controls all the activities of the cell. Okay, it's just like brain, our brain controls all the activities of the body. The same way nucleus, it controls all the activities that occur in the cell. And like cell, now cell organelles, just now I told you, each cell, they have organelles. Just like organs in our body, cells have organelles. Okay, and these organelles, they have specific function. Now prokaryotic means that these organisms, they do not have well-defined nucleus, and they also lack cell organelles. Okay, then some of the organisms have cell walls. Now out of these organisms, some, they have cell walls. Now plants, they possess cell walls. That means that some of them, they belong to the, they have got the features of plants. Okay, so cell walls like bacteria and blue-green algae, while others lack cell walls like mycoplasma. Okay, then mode of nutrition, okay, is either autotrophic or heterotrophic. Now autotrophic nutrition is that nutrition in which organisms, they prepare their own food using sunlight. Okay, and heterotrophic nutrition is that nutrition in which organisms, they depend on other organisms or plants for their food. They do not synthesize their food, they do not prepare their own food. Okay, for example, blue green algae and some bacteria, they are autotrophic. That means they synthesize their own food, but most of the bacteria and mycoplasma, they are heterotrophic. That means they depend on plants or other organisms for their food. They do not synthesize their food. Okay, so this is all about the characteristics of kingdom Monera. Now students, here you can see these are the members of kingdom Monera. This one is bacteria. Here is the structure of bacteria. Then this is blue-green algae, Anobena, which is blue-green algae. This is Oscillatoria, which is cyanobacteria. This is nostoc colony, and this is mycoplasma. Okay. Now students, here's the structure of a bacterial cell. As you can see here, these are the whip-like structures called flagella that helps them to move. They help in locomotion. And bacteria, they have got cell wall. They are prokaryotic, and they are unicellular also. That means they are single celled. Okay. Now bacteria, they are the microscopic organisms. That means they can be seen only under the microscope, and they are the smallest and they are most plentiful on earth. Okay, so this is all about bacteria. Now students, open your book, open page number 17, and let us confirm exercises and their answers. Okay, here first one is question number 1 is multiple choice questions. Okay, you have to put a tick mark over the correct choice. Tissues found in growing regions of plants are, the answer is meristematic tissues. Okay, now second is meristematic tissues have, answer is small thin walled cells rich in cytoplasm. Then question number 3 is sclerenchyma is a, answer is A, thick walled tissue consisting of dead cells. Okay, then fourth question is vascular tissues in a plant are, answer is xylem and phloem, option A. Now turn page 17. Now question number 5 is xylem is a, answer is vascular tissue. Okay, now comes fill in the blanks. First is cells are living, elongated and thickened at the corners in, answer is collenchyma. Okay, collenchyma, collenchyma tissue. Then second is xylem and phloem constitute, answer is vascular tissue in a plant body. Okay, then third is water moves upward inside the plant body through, answer is xylem tissue. Fourth is movement of food material in the plant body takes place through phloem tissue. Okay, then comes cells of meristematic tissue bring about increase in plant length. So answer is meristematic tissue. Then comes differentiation we have done. Fourth one is find the odd one out. Here you have to select the odd one. Xylem, collenchyma, parenchyma, sclerenchyma. The answer is xylem. Okay, you have to put a tick mark over it. This is the odd one out because xylem is a conducting tissue. And here the second one is vessels, companion cells, sieve tubes, collenchyma. Here collenchyma is the odd one out because other are elements. Okay, elements of xylem and phloem. Then comes question number 5. Okay, now here name the tissue found in the following. Okay, so you have to write the name of the tissue. The first is, it is found in the tips of root and stem. The answer is meristematic tissue. Then the second one is surface of roots. The answer is dermal tissue. And mango peel, again it is dermal tissue. Now comes which of the following statements are true and which ones are false. Okay, so you have to mark true or false, but I have marked here, I've put signs only, cross and a tick mark. Okay, now first one is meristematic cells are small and thin walled. The answer is correct, it is true. And second one is cells of the permanent tissue lack the property of division. This is also true. Then third one is permanent tissue is an immature tissue. This is false. Why? Because permanent tissue, they are completely mature tissue. Then comes xylem tissue is made up of sieve tubes. This is also false. Okay, phloem tissue is made up of sieve tubes. Then sclerenchyma consists of thick walled dead cells. This is right, true. And phloem is a complex tissue. This is also true. Okay, so just match your answers with the following answers. Okay.